Asheron's Call was a subscription-based 3D fantasy RPG that was released November 2nd of 1999, less than a year after the original EverQuest came out, making it one of the longest-running MMOs ever with a lifespan of over 17 years. It was developed by Turbine and was published by Microsoft until 2004, where then it was published by Turbine themselves. There were two official expansions, Dark Majesty in 2001 and Throne of Destiny in 2005, but Asheron's Call was consistently updated with monthly major patches until 2014, where the business model changed from a subscription-based to free-to-play. But if you were a new member, you'd have to pay $10 once, and then you'll have access to the game for free after that, no monthly cost. Seeing how it was made during the Clinton administration, you were able to play this game on pretty much any PC made this millennium. Asheron's Call took place in the world of Auberean, but specifically on Dereth, a large island with a sea in the middle. The land was separated into two main sections, Osteth and the Dire Lands. And let me give you a little perspective. This red circle is where Dereth is on the world of Auberean. So to say this world they created was massive would be like me saying that the Hubble telescope lets you see far. But on top of this gigantic world, there was also another world called Burr, and it could even be accessed by players through a portal. Asheron's Call had 11 races to choose from, some easy to say, some not. Like Gear Knight's easy, but Gahardium is a little bit difficult. But the most interesting is the Ulthai. The Ulthai were a special PvP race introduced in the 11th anniversary update, where you could either be a soldier that used melee or a spitter that used projectiles. See, the Ulthai were actually a heritage of 7-foot tall predatory insects, and the people of Dereth were scared and angry at the infestation, mainly because the Ulthai enslaved the first humans that ever came to Dereth. So players that chose the Ulthai heritage had their own chat channel and their own currency. The game is full of tens of thousands of pages of lore, and some of it's pretty interesting, like the story of Ben 10. She was rumored to be the first show and was co-founder of the Celestial Hand, one of the 3 societies in the game. The other 2 were Eldritch Web and Radiant Blood. Anyways, back to the classes themselves. There were also these buffs called augmentations, and some of the classes got these augmentations for free. For instance, the show class started with Jack of all trades, and it gave you +5 to all skills. Other augmentations did anything and anything, from increase your critical chance, to give you more resistance, reduce the need for foci when using magic, even letting you carry more. Using these gems would usually cost billions of experience, and for good reason. These were a big part of how you shaped your character. The gameplay of Asheron's Call was that of a classic MMO. It's an open world, and it had a point-and-click combat style like EverQuest and WoW that would come later. But it had a few tweaks to add depth, like the slider bar to use your weapon faster at the cost of being less accurate. And when using ranged attack, you had high, medium, and low attack that all had a chance to inflict different types of status effects. There was also a plethora of weapons. You had your usual swords and bows and magic, but there were also some crazy obscene weapons like the Royal Ladle, a throwing weapon added at the Throne of Destiny expansion. But on February 21st, 2012, there was a Masters of Arms patch, and that gave you everything from sticks to tridents and cestices. It pretty much doubled the roster of weapons you could get. There were also 5 schools of magic: the School of the Arm, the School of the Heart, the School of the Left Hand, the School of the Right Hand, and the School of the Shadow. The School of the Shadow was for void magic. That's the nether spells, the dark arts per se. On top of that, there was also a patch on February 20th of 2013 called the Balance of Power, which allowed you to summon creatures. There was a bunch of options. You could summon golems, various types of skeletons, even a swarm of elemental wasps. The list goes on. And there's plenty of ways to use all of these weapons and magic. Aside from questing and running dungeons, you can enter a gauntlet under one of the 3 societies that I mentioned earlier. The gauntlet was 12 stages of enemy waves with the occasional boss battle, and there was also a coliseum where you would have 1 hour to go through 18 arenas with a party, fighting bosses and hordes of creatures. There was also the advanced coliseum where you would have to be level 80, but you start in arena 6, and if you beat all the stages in an hour, you get a key to the coliseum vault. And you know what's in the vault? some shiny rings. There was also a bunch of fun PvP modes. There was land control, which was a battle between factions for, you guessed it, the control of land. But there was also straight up player killing. If you kill a player, you earn yourself a red dot on the mini-map. But as you could have guessed, Asheron's Call had entire servers dedicated to player killing. Think back to when you played RuneScape. But okay, say you didn't want to fight all the time. I understand it gets exhausting. Well, there's various chessboards scattered throughout that you could use. You could play chess in Asheron's Call. Or you could be a fisherman. Or you can gamble on monsters fighting. Or you could be a home decorator. The list goes on. You had tons of stuff to do. And of course, like most long-standing MMOs, you could even get married in the game. And to do this, you would go through the Wedding Trials dungeon with your spouse and fight creatures called anger and greed and jealousy to get the symbols of friendship and honor and love. And there was even a cold feet portal in case somebody wants to back out, which I actually think is a well thought out and well done way to make a marriage system in a game. But let's change gears for a second, because this is where things take a turn for the worst. In March of 2014, Asheron's Call was put into a quote-unquote maintenance mode. The same year that Turbine experienced major layoffs, and Severlin, a producer of Asheron's Call, said that the March patch would be the last intended patch for the game. And he wasn't entirely wrong about that, because after May of 2014, there was no patches for a full year. And after that, there was only one more in May of 2015 that was basically a hotfix. But get this, in December of 2016, the teams from Dungeons & Dragons Online and Lord of the Rings Online were transferred over to Standing Stone Games. Because according to Warner Bros., quote, Turbine is transitioning to a free-to-play mobile development studio, end quote. And this transition marked the death for Asheron's Call, because shortly thereafter, on January 31st of 2017, the game was shut down. But right now, there are members of the community working hard to emulate the game and create a new private server, and they're slowly succeeding in putting the pieces back together. Now, when a game is up for 17 years, it becomes more than just a game for people. They develop long-lasting friendships and relationships for other people in the game. The core community becomes a strong, tight-knit web of passionate people that have given a large part of their life to this media. If you go to the Asheron's Call subreddit, the pinned post is a thread for finding lost friends that used to play the game. People have gained notoriety for their accomplishments in Asheron's Call. Let me put it to you this way. If you became a parent after you joined the game, say in 2000, you could play with that child as they grew up. The game lasted that long. The impact that the game had on people was immense, and the death of this game is a heavy weight for them to bear. There's even a short video about Asheron's Call ShutDown on PC Gamer, where you can hear the genuine sadness and defeat in longtime players' voices as they share experiences and talk about the friends they had during their time with the game. So if you were there for the Apocalypse Party, the Martine attacks, the Olthai invasion, the Prodigal Human investigation, if you fought Lord Meyertrex, or if you finally got your hands on a hero token, then Asheron's Call is a game you might remember. Now guys, if you stuck throughout the whole video, thank you very much. This is a longer video than we usually do. If you enjoyed our content, please subscribe for more. We of course have the Games You Might Remember series, but we also open up discussions on various topics about video games. If you feel like I pronounced anything wrong in this video, please leave a comment expressing your anger about the fact that I did so. And don't forget about the Daily Quest Discord, there'll be a link in the description.